Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to talk to you guys about overthinking. Those moments where you find yourself creating scenarios in your head that has never happened. And now you start to feel anxiety. You start to feel the emotion like you're in that situation. It happened to me. Um, my boss was like, he's like, hey guys, he was talking to me and my coworkers. He's like, I want to have a meeting tomorrow and I want you guys to come in early. And it's usually not like him to say that. So originally, when I saw it, I thought nothing of it. And then my coworker's like, "Hey, I wonder what's happening with work." And I was like, "Oh, now she got me thinking." Now I was like, "Whoa, like what's happening with work?" And then I was like, "Oh, like I'm just not gonna think anything about it." And the next, these thoughts start to come in my brain, and I was started thinking, like, "Oh, like did I do something wrong? Did I leave my drawer, open, or did I do a transaction wrong?" And then I'm starting to think, oh, maybe like, am I getting fired? These crazy thoughts, and it was just from the time that he had texted us, hey, I want to do a meeting in the morning, to when we had the meeting. From that time to when we had the meeting, I was thinking about these crazy scenarios and letting my mind wander. And I'm pretty sure you guys can relate, because I'm pretty sure if you're talking to someone and you're thinking like, hey, like I wonder if they like me. Did why they're not texting me right away? It's been all day. Did I do something wrong? Or if you go to a new job interview, like why haven't I got a phone call yet? Is it something I said in the interview? And you start to create these scenarios and these things that are happening in your brain that make you feel some type of way. It makes you feel anxiety. It makes you feel like like whatever situation's happening, in your brain, like it's real life. Like I don't know, like the chemistry behind it, or the biological reason why, but I know that when you're I don't think the brain could detect, when it comes to your thoughts and reality. I don't know if it can decipher. Like, I think your thoughts can become your reality. That's why people say, you know as you think is as you are. Because at the time when you're thinking these scenarios and you feel overwhelmed, your brain is not able to detect that it's not like in an imaginary space. It's thinking that it's real life right now, even though it's all in your head. That's why you get to feel these things and you feel overwhelmed and you feel like your heart, is gonna come out of your chest, and you just and I'm here to kind of bring some ease into feeling these ways when you are overthinking. Some tricks that you can apply to your life when you are finding yourself creating scenarios in your head. One, you have to separate yourself from your thoughts and realize that they're just thoughts. Yeah, Berto, it's easy to say and hard to do. I get it. But just like anything else, you have to practice. Once you get to the point when you're thinking that scenario that's happening in your brain, and you start to feel yourself spiraling, just to be like, hey, I'm spiraling. Why am I spiraling? I'm thinking about scenario A, B, C, D, E. What happens if A, B, C, D happens? Then you start overthinking, and then you're like, wait, whoa, none of this really happened yet. I'm creating stuff in my brain that's never happened, and I'm getting overwhelmed with something that never happened. I'm 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 putting words in other people's mouths in this situation when they didn't say it. I'm I'm experiencing something that didn't happen. I'm just like, you're thinking about things that didn't happen. So when you are able to separate yourself from your thoughts and just realize that they're just thoughts, you can then be at ease. Just have, like, when you find yourself, feeling anxiety, when you find yourself getting overwhelmed, when you find yourself hyperventilating, or find yourself being depressed. Just be like, hey, these are just thoughts. When you realize that what you focus on becomes your reality, try to narrow your focus onto something that's going to bring you back to earth. For me, I'm very spiritual. I have a relationship with God. When I find myself, with this whole meeting thing, like having a meeting really early in the morning, and I started to think, these negative thoughts, I realized I'm going through spiritual warfare right now. The devil and these demons are trying to come at me. They found a weakness. They found something that they can latch onto and try to attack me. But knowing the God that I serve, knowing he's the protector, that he's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, that he's the one that created the earth and the heavens and the galaxies, the beginning and the end. When you realize how strong and powerful the God that we serve, and you know that he has our back and that he lives inside of us, that he resides and gives us the power to fight off these demons, you could then say, no, that's not happening. No, I'm not going to get fired. No, I didn't mess anything up. I know that I did everything right. I know who God tells me I am. He says that I'm beautifully and wonderfully made, that I'm his masterpiece, that I'm one of one, that I was made in his image. That's how that's how I fight back against these demons. He's given me that power. He's given you that power. And you just have to use it. And by using it is by declaring it out loud or in your brain and be like, hey, I noticed that you're trying to attack me. I know this game that you're trying to play. You're trying to put these thoughts in my brain that are not happening. Stop. You're just gonna be like, stop. You literally can say, just stop. You're like, I'm not listening to you. I'm listening to what God says. And then you can then be at peace. And if you can't do that, ask God, be like, hey, I can't handle this spiritual warfare. I can't handle these demons. God, please, I need your help. I can't do it myself. I know you've given me this power, but I can't do it. Please come in and I'm inviting you in. And in that moment, God would be there and help you and give you the peace that only he can give you. Now, let's say hypothetically, like you're like, hey, Berto, like I'm not spiritual as you. I don't believe in God. And I'm not trying to force God onto you. But my job as a Christian is to glorify him. You can use your own method and it might work. It might. And there's some things like focusing on, if you're in this situation, you're overthinking and trying to narrow your focus onto something else. Maybe focus on something that you're grateful for, focusing on your loved ones, focusing on, the positives in the situation. Be like, how can I switch the perspective? How can I put myself in another person's shoes? Or how can I separate myself from these thoughts and look at them from the outside? Maybe you can visualize that your thoughts are on a screen and you get to pick which one you can bring up to. Let's say you're in my shoes and with this whole work thing, and you see, getting fired. You see, I did something wrong. You see, wait, I didn't do anything wrong. Boom, focus on that. Turn the channel onto that channel or on that screen. Be like, I didn't do anything wrong. I know I did my job right. I know that I worked on, this for so long. I know that I asked the right people for help. And then something else comes up. You're like, oh, they're just, everyone's meeting because someone's going to get fired. Or we're having this meeting because a customer made a complaint. Or we're having this meeting because maybe our manager wants to get something out of his chest. Maybe he wants to see if we're doing something right. Boom, focus on that. There's so many thoughts going in your brains. I don't know how many thoughts, but you can choose which ones you focus on. You have the ability to do that. Overthinking, and I do it all the time. I'm an overthinker. But you have to want to win this battle if you overthink all the time. If you don't have that mentality, if you don't have that like want to win this battle over overthinking, it's going to consume you and you're going to become a person that you can't even recognize in the mirror. You're like, who am I? You've become all those thoughts that never happened. And people can notice it by just being around you, noticing that you don't say these things anymore, you don't want to go out anymore. You don't, post any pictures anymore, you're not smiling anymore. You have your head down. You're thinking that the world's against you. We can see it. If you have that desire to win this battle, to win this war, you first have to want to win. And if you do have that want, if you do have the desire, hold on to it. That will allow you to be fueled with the necessary quote unquote vitamins or nutrients to seek help, to seek conversation with people that that you're close to seek videos that can help you overthinking, to seek the right music playlists. Like I shouldn't be listening to depressing, sad songs. To seek the right, entertainment, I should be listening to more motivating and inspiring videos, not like videos that don't give me any, purpose or don't give me any value. You're going to want to seek maybe being more open to having people into your life instead of being closed off. Because when you overthink, you know that you're creating these scenarios in your head that nobody can relate because you think that this is reality, so you can't tell someone, and so you close yourself off like, hey, I'm fine. But maybe you could seek to be open and be like, hey, I know this never happened, but this is what I'm thinking. That way you can feel comfortable in letting it go and lifting it off your shoulders to allow someone to come in and be like, hey, I overthink too. Yeah, I create scenarios in my head and I'm just with you on that. But this is how I was cured from that. This is how I overcame that. I hope that helps. I understand. But you have to want to win this war. And once you have that, hold on to it. Allow it to fuel you to seek better for yourself. Allow it to fuel you and run through your body and like, hey, I got to be a better version of myself. I'm not a collection of these thoughts. I am one of one. I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. I was put on this earth for a reason. I may not know what the reason is now, but eventually I will find out. And I will live in my purpose. I will live in the design that was made just for me. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys have a great week, great month, great year. You guys all deserve it. And I love you guys, and I appreciate every single one of you guys that clicked on this video and watched all the way through. Peace.